私はマンザナーを経験した人の多く知っている。この場所は私に言葉を残す。
Our English teacher, Mr. Rodriguez, aka DJ Twist, gave us sophomores and juniors the chance to relive the Japanese journey internment camps. And now we're going to Manzanar.
Hi, so my name is Mr. Rodriguez. These are my colleagues. We have Mrs. Lehman, Mrs. Rogers, Mrs. Alora. This is a standard stop on the way to Manzanar. We always come to this park. We left about 8 a.m. this morning, so we've been on the road for about 4 hours. So normally when you visit Manzanar, you go into the visitor center and you watch a movie. Our students have already studied the novel Farewell to Manzanar, and they've learned all about the history of the events leading up to the internment. About 15 minutes, we'll be there at Manzanar. History can and often does repeat itself if you don't watch out for your rights and you let people take advantage. They will. Could you imagine getting off this bus and this being your home for the next 3 years? Because that's what it was. Out here in the middle of nowhere, you could look all around, there is nothing here at all.
There were 541 babies born, 150 people died, 146 of them were Japanese American. This is a block. Just pretend like there's 20 buildings in this little place, and then times that by 36, and that's Manzanar. So the monument was built in 1943 by Ryozo Kato. You know what the people born in Japan are called? Yeah, well, some people call them Japs, but no, Issei means one, first generation. And their children who were born here were called Nisei, which is for the number 2. And then the next generation is Sansei. Gordon Hirabayashi was in Seattle, Washington. He was a student at the University of Washington from a Quaker family. He thought that this was ridiculous, and he basically was testing the curfew in Seattle, and he got arrested, and they sent him to a camp down in Tucson, Arizona. They told him to hitchhike down there. They're like, okay, you're busted, you're going to prison, now hitchhike yourself down to Arizona and sign yourself into this camp. Mitsue Endo was a test case. That was a woman, she was in the camp in Topaz, Utah. A test case that was brought about citizenship, and actually they ruled in her favor eventually in December 1944 that you couldn't hold a loyal citizen. Fred Korematsu, who was in the Bay Area, Fred Korematsu was Japanese American. He had an Italian-American girlfriend that he was very fond of. And so he actually tried to hide out. He got surgery on his eyes to not look quite so Japanese. And he was able to hide out for, I think it was a couple weeks before somebody turned him in. And then he went to Topaz, Utah. And so Mitsue Endo was the only one who had the court rule in her favor. Hirabayashi, Korematsu, and Yasui all did not have the court rule in their favor. So now that we're in Block 14, we're going to talk a little bit about daily life. How did it mess up family life?
They didn't eat together as a family.
Didn't eat together as a family?
Back in the days for Manzanar, they didn't have any kind of privacy. Showers, and also the same
No privacy.
While they were sleeping. Wind would come through the cracks of the woods, and so when you wake up, you have sand all over your face and your body.
In cases like Korematsu, where we look back today, and a lot of people say that's one of the bigger judicial mistakes that this country has made, it was something the Supreme Court voted on.
Right.
You know, and Korematsu actually, after 9/11, he was involved in supporting a case called the Hamdi case. That he personally got involved in a case after 9/11 saying, look what happened to me, don't want this to happen to others. So a lot of people don't understand the constitutional powers and how things are supposed to work and how they're supposed to be a balance. And it's, you know, turn on the news any day and you can hear people discussing it.
So I came on this Manzanar trip because I like history and because I'm in yearbook. So I took a lot of pictures on this trip, but the one that was like really cool was taking the picture of everyone at the end.
So I have to say that was a really, really good trip. The weather was perfect. We had an excellent tour guide. She was really passionate, and I think all of the kids that went really remember the experience because of what she said. I hope they went home with memories and an impression on what happened here during World War II, and I hope this is an experience they'll never forget.